Malala area seniors and any others that are in Clackamas County. Um, we are increasing in numbers, but our funding is not sufficient to take care of us now. Our congregate meals and things, we need more funding for that. And the Meals on Wheels, we have more seniors living today, and we need to provide for them. We have a lot of money going out for the homeless, but we're going to have more homeless seniors if we don't take care of our seniors now. We had after the COVID, we had extra money because of the COVID was still coming. But more seniors found out about the centers and the help that they provide for other seniors. And so we want to keep that going. We have been trying to promote the senior centers and to do what we can for the seniors so they don't have to go to nursing homes and assisted living. They can have communal dining with other friends and people that they know of their age and take care of themselves. But the meals really helps, and we need more help with that. After 2020, the Malala seniors, the board members served once a week at the center, and we started out with on Thursday was our day. We maybe had one table of diners on Thursday. They said this is a slow time, it's okay. Now we have a full house. Thursday's a full house of diners. Yesterday we had a special function, and it was a full house. We try to have donations of supplies and stuff given so that they can do extra for the seniors, but we can only do so much. The food banks help us where they can. We try to bring in any extra food that we have at home that we aren't using so that we can share with others. But the county needs to step up and help provide more food for the congregate dining and the Meals on Wheels. I delivered Meals on Wheels here a while back. I don't want to do it again. I love the people, but I don't like this.
I wish I could rewind it, guys, but before this, there was one lady who was upset about ice or something. There might have been more. Their meeting started at 10 o'clock. Not sure how much I missed. We'll see. This lady's talking about senior center stuff, but there might be more leftists out there. There's a group called Indivisible. You've probably heard of them. That kind of arranged to kind of show up at this meeting as a group and everything. I wish Republicans would do that kind of same thing, But anyway, let's see what's next here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. This is a final call. If you are attending this meeting in person, have not yet done so, would like to comment during general public communication, not for an item that has its own specific public hearing today, to please come up, fill out a blue card, and deposit it in the box right here next to me. The final blue card I have today, Mr. Les Poole, please come forward.
Not loud enough, is it? For senior citizens too, please don't be against ice.
Good morning, commissioners and staff, and everyone that's here today. The lady that just spoke made a pretty clear statement about where we're at, and I've got a few comments today that in their own way are related to that. It's really about money. It's about priorities. And I think Clackamas County is doing a much better job than what we're seeing next door in Multnomah and Portland. I think some of the spending and some of the, I'll use the term antics that have gone on in Salem are deeply troubling. There's an incredible message from our effort to get the tax increase, the big tax increase on the ballot. The response has been tremendous. People are going out of their way to sign a petition that in droves and in ways I've never seen. And that message is about money and prioritization. That's really what it's about.
We understand.
And you've got some budget challenges coming, as we all know. And more folks are asking, and the dollars aren't going as far. Dovetailed with that is a subject that I wanted to just run by you And you've heard me speak. I've got some concerns about the neighborhood and the impacts and the outcome of the Clackamas Recovery Center.
I'm not sure. I can't think of a good reason there. Who is that? Michael? Yeah, Michael. I'm not sure of I know you meant lawbreakers. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they sort of like them out there or something like that, or they contribute to society, guys. They contribute to society. Everyone contributes to society when certain people, in some little way. But it's like, are you a net positive or a net negative? If you're net negative and you commit crimes, yeah, let's get you out of the way there and does not hurt society. Since this will come back later, I think, to the agenda item or whatever, probably related to ICE or something like that. I'll keep an eye on that one. But I noticed another meeting in Portland going on with the mayor and things like that. More of a work session, they call it here. But let's go check and see what that one's about here. Hold on. I'm gonna move this one over here. Move this one over here. And do that and do
Cities
this.
was great. Anytime we have a chance to meet with the administration on a
And
relational basis to advocate for these projects, because that really is what allows us to get these across the finish line when the funding and the continuing
Do this.
resolutions do move forward. I just want to let you know, I really think it's time for us to really lobby on behalf of the city, because the funding really is at peril and really is important for us to try and keep that funding going. The stack on the 82nd Avenue is 97% firm. It's just hasn't
We'll be right
dropped
back,
into the
guys.
funding bucket yet. And it's a concern that I have. And so if we can work together as we fly, we meet, let's really collaborate on this to make sure that Jack is successful in the federal side of it. So thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree wholeheartedly. Councilor Novick?
Yes, and the fact that I didn't bring these up earlier indicates obviously that I was unprepared. But two things. One, to me, one of the most threatening things the federal government has done in the past year is reduce the staffing for the Bonneville Power Administration. And I think they've restored some of that. But I suspect we're still in a tenuous position. And I'm not sure if this belongs in community safety or economic development, but I'd like to see some language about ensuring that the Bonneville Power Administration has the personnel and the resources to ensure stability of the electric grid now and in the future. Because also we're concerned about, they're making investments in transmission, et cetera, et cetera. So I just like to see that somewhere. And does any of my colleagues have an objection to that, adding that somewhere?
Councilor Green, did you have an objection to that?
I feel compelled to respond because I used to work there for 10 years. No objections, but I would maybe offer it a little bit differently in that the Bonneville Power Administration is not appropriations driven. So their resources and their funding and all that's based upon local ratepayer dollars. I think what we want to advocate for is non-interference from the Department of Energy on the administrator of the BPA's ability to hire to the level he needs. Does that work for you?
Okay, but I'm not quite sure I see the difference, because what we've seen them do is fire a lot of people and they have the power to do that. So we don't want them doing that.
What I'm saying is, the DOE should not step into John Hairston's hiring authority, because the Bonneville Power Administration spends its ratepayer dollars to do the hiring. And so, this is a nuanced discussion because
So let me try something here. Does anybody have a concern with us putting language in around this? Can I ask Councilors Green and Novick to work with our team to get the language right offline? Because I know that you both are going to go really deep into the policy on this. Okay.
Thank you. We'll do that.
Of course, I'm respectful. Who said I'm not respectful? Maybe to some trolls out there, I'm not too respectful too once in a while, but I'm respectful to everybody out there.
Controlled substances, and then it says increased federal resources and coordination to support interdiction of interstate drug trafficking. Now, I happen to think that interdicting interstate drug trafficking is a losing battle and a waste of time. I know that Councilor Canal disagrees with me, but I am worried about saying it twice, particularly in the context of where the federal government is now murdering people on the high seas, claiming they're drug traffickers. And I realize it says interstate, not international, but I am, personally, I'd like to take it out altogether, but at minimum, I'd like to say it only once rather than twice. That indicates that it's a really high priority. And also, the city will advocate for policies and funding that increase public safety, including gun violence.
Does he want to see his citizens die of fentanyl poisoning? Is that what he just said? I think that's what he just said. He doesn't mind his citizens of his city dying of fentanyl poisoning by allowing to come ashore.
The possibility of getting assistance from the federal government?
Yeah, so on the second one, the Portland Police Bureau does pursue DOJ grant funding, usually through the Burn JAG program. There is additional funding available through the COPS program.
Okay, so it's about getting federal funding, and make sure you keep getting federal funding when you know you're going to end up breaking the federal laws and things like that. So that's interesting.
Because you, by pursuing this COPS funding, you are then required to maintain those positions, and so it doesn't give you as much budget flexibility in future years.
Okay.
So we have pursued though, and I'll go on the other mentions of domestic violence, sex trafficking, support for survivors. Those are all funding streams that exist.
Yeah, there's some people that are out there that are a little bit more aggressive in the way they talk or whatever, streamers, and then that the chat kind of becomes a little more aggressive in the way they talk, and for lack of a better word, at that point there. So if you're going to speak respectfully, identify the chat, talk to the chat about whatever. Yeah, in Portland, they definitely don't, and things like that. So it's just crazy, but it's kind of probably a boring thing for you guys to watch, but I appreciate you guys hanging out and chilling with me. I'm still looking at the other one for public communication here. Hold on a second. See if this is talk about.
Turn to my colleagues. We have a time at the end for comments. Would you like to hold any comment until the end? I'll give each commissioner a chance.
It's the other meeting.
Chair, just one thing. Was it Patricia? Yeah, thank you for sharing that. We're keenly aware of the challenge that our senior citizens are falling into. I've been in.
All right, that was Clackamas County on that one there. This is back to Portland over here. Oops.
Has the DPSST, et cetera, which seems to be related to accountable policing. So this just struck me as an odd thing to have in the federal part, period. But if there's an explanation for that, I'm wondering why it's not in the state part too.
Do you mean?
You can, feel free.
Actually, Councillor Novick, you just addressed something that we recognized in the last couple of days was missing from the state agenda, and we're hoping to discuss it with you today to make sure that it gets covered under the community safety bullets in our agenda. It's been on our agenda in the past, and DPSST has just proposed some massive cuts to the programs the basic police training program, which is, we helped bolster that over the last few years and get the backlog addressed. So you called it out, and I hope you all will tell us that we should put it back in our agenda.
Thank you. Finally, I just wanted to say how much I appreciated the paragraph about pre-disaster mitigation programs, et cetera. I know that this administration is gutting those, and the prospects are dim, but it's really damn important. So we're really glad that you're still highlighting this priority.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to add, I don't think we
Pre-disaster thing. Whose responsibility should be pre-disaster in certain areas? Should it be the cities, the states, or the federal governments? If there's a kind of a thing that's likely to happen in your area, Oregon forest fires, things like that, should that be the federal responsibility to kind of mitigate any kind of potential thing, or should that be the federal government's responsibility outside of federal land? I would think that would be, the cities and states.
that is, as we saw the influx of particularly the fentanyl, in the last 5 or so years, we were looking for a way to engage at the federal level on that issue. And that is where the federal jurisdiction existed for us to try to address that. I will say that's one of also the reasons, though, that community safety and behavioral health are put together there, because our main federal focus is really on treatment and support on the behavioral health side.
This might seem sort of obvious, but if we're going to talk about supporting interdiction of drug trafficking, I kind of would like to add some language saying, not including the murder of suspected drug traffickers in the high seas.
So colleagues, I think we have three options here. There's been
What a freaking bleep, bleep, bleep. I didn't say it. I just said bleep, bleep, bleep.
out. We could leave the agenda as it is, or we could add language in that is perhaps not quite as specific as what Councillor Novick just said, but something to the effect of federal resources and coordination to support interdiction of interstate drug trafficking while maintaining our values around our international relationships or something like that. Do folks have strong opinions about maintaining status quo, taking the language out, or
Are they spending a lot of time just about language on a meaningless bill saying, we're against drug trafficking against state lines or something like that, but we're also against eliminating threats from overseas?
about Councillor Clark's proposal there? Councillor Canal, is your hand up on this? Yeah.
Yeah, I think my understanding from reading this is that the intention was to have the first reference be that it's broadly good for us to stem supply, and that one particular thing we want the federal government to directly do is the interdiction of interstate drug traffic. Is that accurate? And then I can answer the question.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I think it could make sense to keep two. I don't have a problem with Councillor Novick's original suggestion of finding a way to consolidate into one, or Councillor Clark's suggestion of it. I do think it's worth noting that supporting interdiction, I just want to say it out loud, is not supporting either the fairly obviously apparent murder and violation of international law that's occurring right now by the federal administration. But and so I do think legal helps in that way a lot, although I don't know what they think is legal.
What did they think about Obama when he was droning people left and right, on foreign land? We're doing it in international waters. They were doing it in a foreign country.
And state level on what community policing means, and the references and justification that you gave, Jack, were.
But that's Obama. He's a black guy or whatever. He's a first black president. Let him do what he wants. Social justice.
Different definitions used at the federal level and the state level on it. And so I would like to see a clearer piece of language. There's some terms in here that are defined in a purely, not by you, but generally in a purely vibes-based way. Livability, we're going to get to that in a little bit. And so I would like to see all those vague terms removed, so that, especially the ones that are used to define other vague terms, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, on the subject of the drug item, I think it could be consolidated that way in either the upper or lower sentences.
Does anybody have concerns with Councillor Clark's proposal that we add legal, and Councillor Novick, does that address your concerns?
That addresses the second of my concern. I still would like the consolidation.
Allegedly, yes.
I'm not seeing any new hands in the queue or anybody shaking their head no, so perhaps we can move in the direction of consolidation and adding the word legal. Okay,
I think it was in his fourth or fifth year.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you all for putting this together. Thanks, Jack. I wanted to go back to the key priorities around infrastructure investment, and I do understand that we can't get new additional appropriations if we do a CR. I understand that, but I want to go back an administration ago when President Biden passed all the infrastructure dollars, and I know that we were a benefit from some sidewalk money that has to go through the state and then come to us. I think it was like $10 million. We have since applied for it this past year. Again, we don't expect that we're going to get it 2 years in a row, but could you, so that I'm clear, and this may be in partnership with the grants department, what money did we get, and it not necessarily from appropriations. But what monies did we get based on the infrastructure bill, that bipartisan bill that the city of Portland got that's in the queue? Like what the mayor was talking about, we have some projects that are in play, but I want to know where is the bottleneck with the money that we did get from the infrastructure bill through grants and appropriations when before Speaker of the House, Pelosi, she did this big bill at the end of her session before the new, he's not the Speaker of the House anymore. It's from New York. But at any rate, Jeffries, yes. So
He was never Speaker of the House.
and some of those dollars have been held up, and I'm just trying to figure out which and how much has been held up in terms of infrastructure dollars that we got from that bill and from grants. And like I said, it may be a combination of partnerships that we may have to get with government relations and the grants department to find out how much money we got. Because I want to know where our money is right now that we got from that particular bill. And some of those dollars have actually stopped, like the mayor is saying, and we may not be able to continue because this administration has decided not to take those awards seriously for whatever reason. So I'm just trying to get an understanding of how some of our restricted funds are going to be held up going forward in this next fiscal year.
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to find, I do have a list. I think I'll need to follow up with you.
Okay, can you do that?
Specific list of amounts, yeah. But I will say, I know, Peabody particularly had a fair amount of, I would say a great deal of success in the last few years. Unfortunately, we have seen basically a rolling back for a few different
and they
reasons.
clawed back some of that. And I'm trying to figure out what was clawed back, what wasn't,
so
what's still in
play. The
play.
biggest grant was our $38 million for Lower Albina. That was the Broadway Main Street project. So that was a neighborhood access and equity grant that PBOT had won in conjunction with the $450 million that ODOT had gotten for the caps on I-5.
Right,
so that was the biggest example. That was clawed back by HR 1 that was rescinded by Congress. Separately, we also had an issue around the
not by Trump, by Congress. Okay, thank you.
Guard Bridge up, I think it goes over Columbia Boulevard. Yeah, in North Portland. So that was $19 million. So there have been a number of instances where some of our biggest successes have been rolled back by the current administration. But we do still have a number of grants, the Safe Streets for All grant that
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for saying that, the Safe Streets.
So that's still coming to the city. We also have a Federal Rail Administration.
Not Safe Streets for ICE agents.
Things in the Central East Side that is still moving forward, and there's a few other examples. So I'll follow up with specifics.
And I just want to piggyback on what my District 1 counselor said, Counselor Dunphy. I mean, we have many priorities that we have based on our districts and those kinds of things, and we did pass the sidewalk improvement and paving project, for short, called SIP, that I sponsored through the Transportation Committee and through the big committee. And in theory, it passed, and Peabody is creating a plan to see what that would look like if we needed to fund it for the next 4 years and how we could do that. I am optimistically looking forward to seeing how that can happen. And while SIP is not on one of these priorities, it is a priority for District 1 to improve and increase and expand the sidewalks in our district. And it did pass as a resolution. It was not an ordinance. And we're going to come back with an ordinance at some point when we kind of figure out what's going on. And I do understand that our dollars are going to be, we're going to be juggling, because if this ballot measure passes and the money that we are getting through this latest transportation bill, that will be.
Anybody with audio of Clackamas, see if they're doing anything yet?
That the other term you use, which I wrote down here, is kind of the shockwave throughout the community. And that I know there is a lot of fear in the community right now.
Oh, here we go.
And so just wanted to say, I have heard that, you know, I want to validate that that is a concern in our community. And so with that, as always, I appreciate people like you taking the time to come in and testify. So nice job. So thank you. So with that being said, I'm going to turn to my wonderful county administrator. Gary, what's next?
Thank you, Chair. Next are 2 public hearings. The first public hearing is second reading of ordinance 04-2025, amending County Code, Chapter 6.05, noise control. No county general funds are involved. Dan Johnson, Director of Transportation and Development, and Caleb Hugel, Assistant County Counsel, will present. If I may, Mr. Brower also testified and asked several questions. I'm going to ask Dan or Caleb to answer them, but I'm going to answer the first one. Why read by title only? Because if you don't, then Andrew here has to read the entire county code amendment, the entirety of it, every word.
It sounds silly.
You know, safe. Because I felt very unsafe on Division and 122nd. I did a walking business tour, and the Midway Business Association, they gave me a tour, and I was like, okay, let me go get my car because I'm not feeling too safe around here, and then I'll meet you at where we're supposed to be. And I said, no, it's okay, it's okay. But I didn't feel safe. And I went and got my car, and I drove them back because I didn't feel safe for them. But I guess what I'm saying is it is a priority to me, even though it is not on the federal agenda. It's a priority for District 1. It is a resolution that passed the whole council committee, and I just don't want you all to forget about it. Infrastructure is real for me. It is what we do. It is our book of business. And I want us to not forget what our mission is at the City of Portland.
Yep. I appreciate that, Counselor, and I'll just comment that I think, like with several other things we've discussed here, that, our federal agenda is a very high-level, broad document that empowers us to respond to council's priorities as you all pass things, resolutions, ordinances, et cetera. We're paying attention to those and working with the bureaus. So as you know, PBOT's already very aware of that, and that's why, they're
and they have their
we're looking
list
for
of
those.
priorities based upon what the administration wants as well. But I'm just trying to figure out how to weave in priorities that we've passed in resolutions to make sure that those things are looked at as well.
Yep, absolutely. And the SIP is high on that list. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's helpful for us to be hearing from you around your priorities, even independently. There's this kind of nuance that we'll end up talking about in the best practices conversation about OGR's resources as the way we're understanding are for the collective city of Portland, not for individual.
Hey, Lauren, is that meeting going on there? I just remembered that. I'm kind of curious what happened at that meeting or if it's on right now. C-SPAN, you think, or White House? DOJ type thing or something like that. Live now from Fox probably cover it.
This isn't just the start of a shift.
I'll try to keep an eye on it if it's going to go live here in a second here. All right, now they got trumpets on delivering peace meeting or something right now on that one there. Let's see if there's another one that has the other meeting going on it real quick here. What would it be? Probably DOJ live meeting. Let's see if I can find something here. Justice Department. Let's try that one. Subscribe. Are they live? Doesn't show live on that one there, but I'm not seeing anything right now on that. Maybe Newsmax has something live. No, they're not live with anything either. All right. We'll look at it and do it later. I'm kind of curious also about that, what kind of evidence they have that that person planted both of the things there.
Be able to call you and say, we're going, tell me what the top 3 things that I need to be talking about, not necessarily SIP, but what is the messaging that I should take with me when I go?
I really appreciate you saying that, because we've really appreciate it. You have reached out numerous times to say, hey, how do I make sure I'm representing the team, right?
Yeah.
And that has been really valuable. And it hasn't been just you. We have had that with a number of council members. And again, we'll talk about some of this, but it is hugely appreciated. Anytime you're reaching out and just getting information from us. That's really our goal, is to just have people be as well informed as they can and help empower them in the work.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. And it's great to be here. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. There was conflicting schedules. It's good to see you, Sam, Jack. This is your time, and Evan, of course, and your entire team.
Here we go. From the Hill.
I, along with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work, working as a team along with ATF, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and of course, the FBI. We are working every day to restore the public's trust. We hope that today is a significant step towards that progress. We'll share more information when we can and when it unfolds. I cannot stress enough how hard Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino have worked for months to make our nation's capital safer and to make our country safer. I'd like to introduce now Director Patel.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to switch to
Thank you, General.
feed here real quick.
When you attack American citizens, when you attack our institutions of legislation, when you attack
Director
our
Patel
nation's
and
capital,
Deputy
you attack
Director
the very
Bongino have
being
worked for
of our way
months
of life.
to
And
make
this
our nation's
FBI and this
capital
Department of
safer
Justice stand here
and to make our country safer. I'd like to introduce now Director Patel.
that we will always refute it and combat it. We will provide the safest country the nation has ever seen under President Trump's leadership here. And that's what we did here today with great resolve on a case of massive public importance, as it should be. An individual who is now alleged to have placed multiple explosive devices to blow up multiple people and multiple officials, innocent civilians, is now arrested thanks to the brave men and women of the FBI and the interagency. I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the Deputy Director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do. As a result of that, we generated numerous investigative leads, executed multiple legal process with our U.S. attorney partners, and came to this conclusion today. And that is why we were able to safely secure this individual into custody. Remember, we are dealing with an individual who is alleged to have made bombs. We cannot do this sort of takedown in haste because it endangers the lives of law enforcement. And this FBI will never allow the lives of law enforcement and our prosecutors to be put in jeopardy. This execution was flawless in terms of teamwork, resilience, and just a good old-fashioned way of police getting the job done. When you let good cops be cops, this is what happens. I'm eternally grateful to the team behind me, to the leadership at the FBI who made this possible. But I do want to highlight, when I introduce the deputy, he made this case and so many others, including Summer Heat, his priority to come in here and solve it for the American people. And today, I'm proud to stand here before you and say, we solved it. He will have his day in court. The American public and the world will learn even more information through the legal process. As we have committed under this Attorney General, we are the most transparent law enforcement operation in U.S. history, but we are also going to make sure accountability is delivered to its fullest extent. And that happens in the courts of law. with our U.S. attorneys and our prosecutors. So we will divulge information when it is prudent and constitutionally permissible while upholding the safeguards of this case to make sure that the people that this individual intended to victimize get the accountability they deserve. And most importantly, to deliver on President Trump's promise to secure our nation's capital and the rest of the cities in this country to make sure that Americans are allowed to go out free and securely in their neighborhoods, and that people around the world are allowed to visit our nation's capital. And they now have that trust thanks to the leadership of the FBI, the Washington Field Office. And I'm honored now to introduce to you Deputy Director Bongino, who spearheaded this investigation.
Thoughts, guys? Thoughts?
Thank you all for being here for this critical investigation we've been working on for a very long time. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Attorney General and Director. I appreciate it. Folks, this is what it's like when you work for a president who tells you to go get the bad guys and stop focusing on other extraneous things not related to law enforcement. This is what happens. We had a great team. I know it's said a lot in this business. It was a team effort. It becomes cliche, but cliches are useful for a reason because they matter. And this was a team effort. The director and the attorney general emphasized that it was not a new public tip this came from. This was our internal work at the FBI. And I want to just really express my sincere gratitude to this attorney general and this president for allowing us the latitude. I spoke with Ms. Bondi very early when we, maybe day 2, and I said, we're going to get this guy. And she said, yes, you are. And we did. I want to also thank, he's not here, but Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who we deal with often as well, who could not have been more supportive. Whatever process we need, Judge Janine, Todd, and Attorney General Bondi, they were there. All you had to do, they were a phone call away. And their team was amazing. We actually never had to make that phone call because they were always responsive. Thank you, Judge, as well. You were amazing. Folks, you're not going to walk into our capital city, put down.
They better take questions. They better take questions.
Off in the sunset. Not going to happen. We were going to track this person to the end of the earth. There was no way he was getting away. Well, we didn't have to track him to the end of the earth. It wound up in Woodbridge, Virginia. I want to thank the team. They were amazing. They never let this go. Again, Attorney General Bondi, for your incredible support. Director Patel, Judge, I know they're giving me a lot of unnecessary credit, but make no mistake, they were intimately involved in this and were there for all of those supportive mechanisms. And I deeply appreciate it. The man whose team did the work is the Assistant Director in charge of our Washington Field Office, Darren Cox. Darren's got some comments and Darren has some more details on the case he can provide. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Darren Cox. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office. Today's arrest of the alleged DC pipe bomber is a momentous day for the American public, for the FBI, for our joint terrorism
Alleged.
and our partners, the U.S. Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and ATF. We've also had a large number of other federal, state, and local departments that have worked on this investigation. And last but not least, the U.S. Attorney's Office. We all worked hand in hand to solve this investigation. This has been a long week in D.C. After the terrorist attack last week, the grit and determination of the FBI and our law enforcement partners is an example to the American public of what cooperation, partnership, and selfless service can accomplish. The amount of effort the FBI and our partners devoted to identifying the pipe bomber cannot be overstated. It is the resolve and determination of our investigators that ultimately led to the identification and the arrest of this suspect. We all know pipe bombs are dangerous, not because of the potential loss of life, damage to property, or injury that they can cause, but also because they are tools that terrorize our community. Fortunately, these bombs did not explode, although they certainly could have. But make no mistake, the alleged pipe bomber did terrorize our community. Today's actions underscore the long memory and the long reach of the FBI and our partners. I know some people had given up on finding the perpetrator, but not the FBI and not our partners. We do not forget, we do not give up, and we do not relent. Though it had been nearly 5 years, our team continued to churn through massive amounts of data and tips that we used to identify this suspect. I want to thank Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino for their leadership and for providing us the resources and the personnel to reevaluate all of the data that we had. We dove into more than 3 million lines of data to come up with this suspect. Director Patel, Deputy Director Bongino, thank you for your support. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for your investment in this investigation. From me, on behalf of the investigators, the Washington Field Office, and all of our partners, thank you. I'd also like to thank Judge Pirro. Judge, your team and you are absolutely amazing. You're the type of prosecutors and U.S. attorney that all of the investigators across the country want to work with. They're hard-nosed and they're aggressive. Thank you for that. I'd also like to thank the American public for providing tips and leads, not just on this case, but every day on cases across the country that are being solved by law enforcement. And finally, I want to commend all of the members of the Washington Field Office, and most specifically, the investigative team. Their diligence and persistence led to this arrest today, and they are absolutely, totally dedicated not only to this case, but every case they work. So thank you, Washington Field Office. Last, I will say our work is not done. The FBI will continue to pursue every lead and use every resource that we have to ensure that the DC pipe bomber is brought to justice. Thank you.
Any questions?
You keep hearing the words partnership and team, and that's what we are. And we could not do this without our U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro. Jeanine, from day one, has worked tirelessly for.
What we didn't need to know is if there was a partnership with the pipe bomber. We're glad you guys have a partnership. What about the partnership with the pipe bomber?
Thank you very much, Attorney General. And you have been listening to a lot of thank yous and a lot of gratitude. The reason that we're thanking each other to the extent that we are today is because we have seen in this case an incredible collaboration around the clock in the middle of the night.
Was there collaboration with the pipe bomber? Thank you. Yeah, I know you're a team. Good job. Is there collaboration with the pipe bomber?
Legal advice. These are the men and women who never give it up. You hear about government employees, but I don't know if you really realize what it is that they do. They are incredible. And this case is big. 4 years, 10 months, and 28 days ago, an individual placed a bomb in the vicinity of both the RNC and the DNC. And for that amount of time, that individual evaded accountability. Today, as a result of the cumulative efforts of the men and women in the FBI and the police department and the Department of Justice, we are finally able to make an arrest of an individual by the name of Brian Cole. As the Attorney General has indicated, he is arrested for transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce, as well as the attempted malicious destruction by means of explosive materials. You know, folks, this case involved millions of pieces of data. And it is a huge win because it was like finding a needle in a haystack. So much of this evidence was very specific, but a lot of it was also very general. For example, there were 233,000 black end caps of the type that were used in this case. I want you to think about the fact that the FBI had to go through the sale of every one of them to try to find commonality with an individual, along with the purchase of the pipe itself, the cap ends, the wires, the steel, and the 9-volt batteries. Every one of those had to be mined,
How about just use facial recognition?
where we were able to then connect and make no mistake.
You know there are more cameras out there than just the ones that they had.
Who made the decision that we were going to use all of our efforts to get it done, and get it done they did. Finally, let me say this. Today begins the formal process of accountability, where this defendant will begin his journey through the criminal justice system. And I pledge to you that the United States Attorney's Office will take this case across the finish line. Again, thank you to the incredible work of the FBI, to the Attorney General, and to our local partners as well. This is a job that I think was well done.
Thank you. President Trump's directive to all of us was to not only make America safe again, but DC, and to make it safe and beautiful. We could not have done that without our partnership with Mayor Bowser and Chief Smith. It is my honor to introduce Metropolitan Police Department Chief Smith.
That I think partly allowed this to happen, along with the Secret Service.
Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agencies standing here today have worked together under the leadership of the FBI to locate our suspect who is responsible for the 2 pipe bombs that were placed around our city. MPD members assigned to the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force have supported this case from the beginning. That supports include looking, reviewing, and going through countless, probably thousands of hours of CCTV footage from around the DNC and RNC headquarters, and they followed up on hundreds and thousands of leads from members of our communities. What I will say today is that Washingtonians can rest easier today knowing that the suspect responsible for this act is now in custody. This morning,
allegedly,
another reminder that committing any act with the intention of harming the residents and visitors of the District of Columbia will result in your arrest. The men and women of the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Capitol Police, and certainly the prosecutors at our U.S. Attorney's Office will go to the furthest length. I heard somebody say to the end of the earth, but thank God we didn't have to go to the end of the earth today, that we were able to bring this subject into custody. I want to commend the men and women of the FBI and the members of the Metropolitan Police Department and all of the agencies who are standing behind me today on a job well done. I will turn it over now to Attorney General Bondi.
We're going to take some questions. Just remember, as I said in the beginning, this is ongoing. It's very active. The search warrants are still being executed. Many charges potentially to come. So just keep that in mind when asking your questions.
For him or for others?
So you said it had been nearly 5 years, we all know that, and that you said there have been no new evidence. So can you say anything about the evidence that actually did lead to this arrest? And then secondarily, you're talking about additional charges possibly. Can you say what those you might be considering, or terrorism charges, or what?
We can't discuss new charges, of course, yet, ongoing. But what I will say is this is why this was so incredibly important. More than any other case, this is in our nation's capital where this happened. And now, thanks to the FBI, we know that this defendant was living just miles away from here in Virginia.
Different Jeffy than the one you're thinking of, I think.
Take that, but it's still very active and very ongoing.
Thank you, General. And as I stated earlier, and as the General has already reiterated, our job is to provide full accountability in the court of law with Judge Pirro's team. And in order to do that, we have to preserve the chain of custody and evidentiary value. What I will say generally is that when you go through 3 million lines of information, y'all can think about the amount of cell phone data that has to be ingested and triangulated and dumped and received. You also have to think of just sheer human ingenuity. We brought in a team of experts who were the best at what they do in their specific fields to reevaluate that evidence, to dive back in, and to not come back with a no for an answer until they had found the suspect. And when you develop evidence, you get a search warrant. And when you get a search warrant, you get an address. And when you get an address, you hit the house. And that's what we did.
Sadie, Wall Street Journal.
Hi there. So what can you tell us about this person's motivations and whether they were driven by politics or for any other reason why?
Right now, it's ongoing. Again, we just executed the search warrant early this morning. It's ongoing, but America's safer, DC's safer because he's in custody.
Mary Margaret, Daily Wire.
Thank you so much. So any theory on why Kamala Harris is never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell you is that evidence has been sitting there collecting dust. This wasn't a new tip. It wasn't some new evidence. It was the hard work of President Trump's administration, Deputy Director Bongino and Director Patel. I watched them from day one come in here and say, we are going to solve this crime. And they did, working hand in hand with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our great attorneys.
Pierre, ABC.
General Bondi, Director Patel, or Deputy Director Bongino, can you describe, was there a particular moment where the evidence is coming in and it's starting to look like progress is being made? What was the moment that you knew that you were on the road to solving the case?
Dan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I was smiling at you because I certainly remember the moment. Darren remembers it too. He said, "Are you sitting down?" Called me.
What the heck? Not on me, not on me. It's on them. Did they just lose the feed? What the heck? Let's try the other feed that I was just watching earlier. What did I miss here?
Tip was, but yes, that was absolutely the moment, and it was due to the diligent and incredible work of a team in the Washington field office that came in and just scoured through this over and over and over and over again.
In general, was it forensic? Was it a phone call? Was it something about a vehicle?
I'd rather, we'll just leave it generally forensic evidence. Yeah, it's fair enough to say.
Excuse me, how long ago that was?
I'd rather not say.
Feeling under the weather?
The ongoing interview process, and I don't want to. Yeah.
I just want to add something to tell you how thorough this team was. That moment that was kind of like the aha moment, that wasn't the end. This team continued to work and work and work to get every bit of evidence that we could get. We didn't stop at that moment. And that's a testament to the fact that the team wanted every possible piece of evidence that they could gather.
One more? One more, Kelly O'Donnell, NBC.
Thank you so much. Have you recovered the notable sneakers? Have you done surveillance of this suspect from that aha moment to when you exercised the search warrants today? And obviously this happened on January 5th into January 6th. How should the public look at this case separate from all of the cases related to what transpired on January 6th and the president's subsequent pardons?
I'm going to let Director Patel take the evidence part. We have to be careful again. You've asked very good investigative questions, but this is ongoing, very active. But America should feel safer today. We say a pipe bomb. These are bombs. These were live, active bombs that were placed in Washington, D.C. Director.
Thank you. This shows you how much detail you and the American public have paid attention to this case. Of course, we analyzed everything that you're seeing on
They paid attention to Bongino's books that he's written about this stuff.
through the formal charging process and court process. But we want to let that evidence speak for itself because, again, we do not want to disrupt the accountability that we owe the American public. Yes, you heard about the cell phone tower data. Yes, you heard about, of course, we surveil individuals who we think we're going to blow up American citizens. But how and when we do it and why we do it is not something we're ever going to reveal unless the Department of Justice deems it fit at trial. So we appreciate your attention to detail and your hardcore investigative work. But you can just imagine some of those same skills are being utilized by this FBI, this Department of Justice, our partners, the ATF, and everybody across the board. And this is an interagency win for the American people.
Radar
before. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you all. And one more thing, this is the best birthday present I think Deputy Director Bongino could ask for today. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
You can see he still has that shoulder problem. I don't know if it was a cancer treatment or something like that, but I know you can tell his shoulder's still bugging him from back in the day when you were watching the show there. Thank you, The Hill, for that broadcast there. For some reason, RSBN went out in the middle of that thing. It was weird. Let's go back into this Portland thing that was going on here. City council meeting of some sort.
On the main priority list in a short session. And I think you have that longer list still that's not part of the official agenda that captures a lot of those issues so that you know where to weigh in on things as they come up as well. Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Evan. Great job. Great overview. I just want to make a couple of comments. I totally echo.
What do you guys think about the evidence there? I know I like that they said it's still an ongoing investigation. They can't give too many things out there, but I wish they would have given some hints, like this might have had something to do related to the events at the Capitol or something like that. Just kind of some hints that it might have kind of been intertwined, but you can't really do too much like that in an ongoing investigation, though.
I'm going to just put that out there. The one question I wanted to ask you, and I think you've really addressed it, actually, was about what's the greatest risk.
Put a 1 if you're in the chat. Put a 2 if you're not in the chat. Put a 3 if you're lurking. Okay, here you go.
Maybe it's called DPSST now. But I think we put a lot of effort into making sure that that pipeline of police officers would be trained.
Well, everybody's talking about pipes today.
Because recruitment and getting more officers here has been a high priority. So I just want to flag that. I didn't see that in writing anywhere here, but I would suggest that that be added.
Portland Police, what? Portland Council wants police? Wow, what a concept.
I think that mental health for us is part of our recovery strategy. I know pun intended really, but it is a recovery strategy for Portland. And I hope that we can do some defense there, maybe join.
The council needs some mental help, that's for sure.
Question, when you mentioned economic development, the governor just had an announcement about some of her initiatives. I don't know if she's intending to have legislation or budget issues around that, but if we're supportive of those things.
There's another meeting going on in Clackamas County. It's supposed to be a little bit more fiery or something like that, but I haven't seen the fire yet here. Let's see what's going on here.
Project funding. Total agreement value is $227,785.38 for 3 years. Funding is through Oregon Housing and Community Services. No county general funds are involved. 7, approval of the public.
At the end of this meeting, though, I think they're going to take more public comment. And that might be when you see a lot of leftists say, don't let ICE around, don't let ICE around, stop ICE.
Of the statewide economy, and they can't forget that. So, but thank you, and I do want to add BPSST in here.
Yeah, and as long as everyone is okay with that, we totally agree. Honestly, it was an oversight and moving things over from past agendas, and would like to do that.
Well, an oversight and things arise that we may not have predicted in greater scale. And so that will continue probably to happen, and we'll be continuing to consult and engage with you. And we think a lot of these agenda items give us some room to say, hey, we know this is something council wants us to come back on. We know there's some issues once it gets, defined as to what is being proposed, we try to understand kind of this sense of the council around this is an issue they want to hear about. But now that you've raised that, I think that would be a really helpful one to document and have in place.
That'd be great. I would really advocate for that. And one other comment, you mentioned that you're working with an internal group on the public meetings law. I was assuming that the League of Oregon Cities was going to take the lead on that.
So the League of Oregon Cities is sitting with me at that work group table. It's not an internal group, it's an external.
There was a thing the other day here, a little thing where Pam Hemphill, you know, Pam or whatever from what was going over there. Hey, Rich K, how you doing? Nice to see you. They fight Trump every chance they get. But if you guys want a little bit of drama, since I don't see enough drama on the screen there, I'm going to see if I can play this recording here. Pam was talking to some people in a little chat thing here the other day. See what she was saying here. Let's see.
Roll the windows down.
And to the page, recently you saw how they designed the envelopes.
Virginia, from the roads I worked on, because I was.
And within 5-10 minutes, there's a fight or an attack that breaks out. You know, there's always something.
I even knew who they were.
Yeah,
it's a liberal thing. We call it double standards.
Yeah. Yep. Let's get this in.
Where else?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're doing it right now.
There she
No,
is.
let's go ahead and address the lies, Pam. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to go into this.
No, name
It's
it.
a
No,
waste
Pam.
of
I would
time.
love. Oh, so
It's
you
a
don't
waste
want
of
you don't
energy
want
with
me
you,
to
Jen.
clear my name. It's all about Pam, right? Because
Oh,
you want to
ever had me
continue.
clear my name? No,
You want to
just
continue to
spreading
tag
bullshit.
me in your
Don't
posts
give me
when you
this,
have me
Jen.
blocked. Okay, Pam. What do you want to address with?
You guys put a 1 in the chat if you know what Pam we're talking about here. Pam is Pam Tifa. Yeah, is the person. Yeah, Rich knows who we're talking about there. But she's the older lady that's outside the ICE building out there. You see her on all the streamers things that are trying to get a talk with her and things like that. Some people say that she was kind of orchestrating some of the things out there, but earlier on, I think on this one here, Patrick and other people said that situation where she reached into her pocket to hand something to somebody else, it wasn't, she didn't do that. What she actually did was just kind of patted somebody on the shoulder, giving them say go help somebody or something like that. But it wasn't. She wasn't doing a weapon. So we were nice enough and everything to confirm that she wasn't handing any kind of weapon or anything like that. But anyway.
With me, Pammy. Go ahead.
I don't want to address anything with you. I talked to a therapist about you. She says don't respond to you because you're out to smear me. You don't like me. You hate me. You don't talk to people that aren't willing to.
Not at all. I want to spread
Make
truth
amends,
about
be
you, Pam.
honest, make amends.
Not at
and
all.
be
Let's
honest.
make amends, Pam. Let's make amends. Let's go do it. Go ahead. Let's make amends. Can you make
mean,
amends and say that you were not quite honest about the smoke bomb situation? Can we agree on that?
I cannot make amends for that when my memory is clear. No.
Your
I don't know
memory
what
is
I meant.
clear, yet you can't remember what you said yesterday. You can't remember about things about J6 and J5, but you can remember things from 2020, Pam.
See, you're twisting my words. I didn't say I don't remember things about J6. I said.
Oh,
I
you
didn't have all the-
absolutely say it, and you use your chemo brain.
Yeah.
I also
sometimes
have
I
a text
problem.
message from you
See what you're
apologizing.
doing? You're
No,
gaslighting.
Pam, I'm trying to make amends. No, Pam, that's what you do.
Hey, we're already talking about J6 stuff. We might as well talk about another thing that happened on J6, right?
You're a master manipulator and a narcissist, and
Oh,
it's
is this
okay.
your
I'm
way of
trying to
making amends?
communicate with you. Yeah, let's have communication. Come
No,
on,
we're
Pam.
not having communication when you're getting attacked.
On this one, she was talking.
Who's
to
attacking you, Pam? Oh,
Sin.
I'm not
listen,
calling
that is
you a
my
liar.
opinion.
Sin.
That is my
I'm not
opinion. You are
calling you a
calling me a
liar.
liar. You are
No, I'm
calling.
not.
Somebody named CIN is her handle on Twitter. I guess they go back to Idaho in their relationship, if you will.
Be a
I'm
liar.
saying I know my memory, and
Oh,
I'm not
you know
going to make
your memory.
amends.
Now you know your memory. Okay, you're not going to make
No, I
amends.
remember.
One of the people said she never actually went to jail, Rich, in this arrest. I have no proof of either way or anything like that, but definitely she may not have actually been in jail, just on probation or something. No confirmation.
That I've never forgotten it.
Okay. Well, I just want you to know I would never make amends with you because you're a predator and a child molester. Okay. So you're a chomo.
Okay.
You think that grown adults can have,
I don't like to talk about that stuff on YouTube, so we'll skip ahead a little ways.
all these horrible names, and I just wanted to get out of there. And then all of a sudden, somebody sprays him, maces him. It just happened so fast. I just see him turning, and he turned towards me, but he was trying to get away from being maced. So I can't really recall. It just happened so fast. My video
She
doesn't
gave him
show
multiple warnings before she sprayed him.
No, that's not true.
That is true. I'm the one that
No,
that-
I have
I'm
the
the
video.
one that beat his ass.
I don't have the video of me because I'm videotaping, but no, I have
Yeah,
the
but
video.
you're trying to lie about his situation. He was going on at her, trying to act all G'd up.
I've got 6 views of that. I finally got 6 views of what happened there.
Okay, 2 of them are
Everybody
in
sent
this.
me
Can you
all
show
the
the other
videos.
ones?
No, that didn't happen.
Patrick,
So you can't
Patrick.
show the other ones.
Yeah, go ahead.
Patrick, may I interject here and do a follow-up?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so the other night, the first night that Pam hosted her space, I tried to clarify about the gloves. I did ask the person that did have the video, and they said that they would get back with me on posting that. Regardless, the glove, the handoff, that's kind of, I mean, it's not irrelevant, but that's not the grand scheme of things that were my intent was, my purpose was. My purpose was that on the video, you are clearly seen giving a command, giving a hand signal, giving a gesture.
No, that's made up.
Pam, this is not your space.
I know
This is
what I
not your
did.
space.
Okay,
Raise
just
your
calm
hand,
down.
Pam.
Wait a second.
I'm going to leave if you're going to throw out propaganda lies.
Listen. Let's just talk.
Patrick does a good job here. He's one of those live streamers that's out there also. He's, not on Pam's side, but he's just trying to allow her to have her kind of ability to speak in that chat room. That was his chat room there. Patriot Corner is the name of the community. Feel free to join it.
I know everyone is impassioned.
Or Patriot Corner PDX is the name of the community.
And everyone is excited. So
it's not about impassion.
I know, but let's just keep the tone
Her
a little
space,
bit.
her space the other night was about respect, and I said to have respect, you have to have truth. Okay, and the truth is, everybody saw the hand signal. Everybody saw you positioned to the hand signal, and you can leave the room, but everybody else is going to hear what I got to say.
Pam said that she was telling that what she was doing was telling someone that she wanted to leave or something. That's her claim. So everyone else is speculating that she was giving signals. So try to tell her that in a calm voice.
Really quick,
I'm calm. I'm calm.
I'll do
I'm
it.
calm.
I can do it.
Patrick,
since
I
was
just want
there.
to say, wait, she was giving hand signals to somebody else towards
That's an
the tent area.
interpretation. That's not a fact.
Sure.
It's on video.
Oh,
It's on
give me
video.
a break. I don't give hand signals to
Okay,
nobody.
wait, just calm
Give me
down
a
for a
break.
second.
This is
Everyone,
fucking-
everyone
Can I finish what I was saying, Patrick, please?
yes, but just listen, hear me out for a second.
Okay.
Just try to talk peacefully.
I just met that person too. I didn't know.
Try to get your
I
point
never
across.
spoke to that person. I didn't know that person.
I'm being peaceful, but in her space, she won't let nobody talk over her. But when
This is my space, and I just want everyone to just let's work it out, okay, calmly, and let's not get too riled up. Tell Pam your theory or what people are speculating calmly without getting too aggressive, because I don't want this to go unresolved. Let's get it resolved now. Let's hear Pam's side. Okay.
I'm going based on live stream footage. I'm one of many. I don't know how many people have seen these videos, but I'm one of many people. And like I said, regardless if something was handed off or not, there was a hand signal. There was a reaction to that hand signal. And that hand signal, I mean, Pam, you said that you have never been involved in any violence. You don't promote violence. But yet you're seen giving a hand signal to a gentleman coming up to you, and then you redirecting him because he was going in the wrong direction. That's intent right there.
Oh,
We'll get back to that in a second. You guys do me a favor, since we're looking at Twitter anyway. feel free to hit that link there that I put in the chat there. That's my latest thing or whatever. A few weeks ago, I was out there at the ICE building, do a little dance or something like that. It kind of shows a video of some of the lefties kind of playing a ridiculous song during that thing there. It was kind of funny, and then I just kind of let Mr. Bill over here do his little dance. It was kind of cool. Anyways, back to it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let me hear your fabricated side of the story, because
No,
everybody
when you
else.
start off by saying fabricated, why explain?
Yeah.
See, right there,
Right. So
there's no
listen.
use explaining.
Right.
Put words
And
in
that's what
my
I'm
mouth.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So listen, you can keep your so you can have your analysis in your own mind, and you can have your opinion, but let's try not to interject any hostility at the moment. Let's
It's not
let Pam.
hostility. She
know,
says,
but you got to understand, she's taking it like that way. So you can
but she
just
can say, Patrick, but she can say everybody else's stories is fabricated, but we can't call her out on it. Okay, that's not
okay.
right. That's not
Right.
right. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
let him
understand.
hostile.
have his own
I'm
advocate.
peaceful.
I agree. Go ahead, say whatever you need to say.
I'm not hostile. I'm
I
peaceful.
know
But
you're not. I know you're
I've
not.
been
But
listening to this for many years. I've got friends that are involved down there. You know, I'm in Kentucky. I shouldn't even have to. Why should I give a shit about this? You know, I give a shit because it's spreading. Memphis is by me. Louisville is by me. St. Louis is by me. My hometown is Kansas City. It's going on there. You know, it's going on everywhere. But and then we got people. You know, you go to their space and you can't say nothing, because if you do, Big Mike interjects.
right.
No,
Or
no, I'm
Well,
sorry. I
listen.
apologize. Let him say whatever he wants. I'm not going to get
it's just Pam, it's you said you don't engage in violence, you don't promote violence, but yet you're seen by millions of people orchestrating violence. And I think it's time that everybody realizes who you really are. You're
Hey,
you're
that's
your grandma, you're the lovable grandma, but you're really just Sabrina in a 77-year-old body. That's it. That's all I got to say. You guys can take it for what it's worth. Patrick, no disrespect to you, brother. You're unbiased. I appreciate that. You just want everybody to be able to talk, and I love that about you. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. You can hand off the mic to somebody else.
all right. Pam, did you have anything to say to that?
Yeah. You see, he's already got his mindset. So I'm only speaking to those that are open-minded and like to hear both sides of the story, and then you decide for yourself.
Hey, Patrick, repost. Or did you like clip it or whatever with just like the section with just her or something like that? I'm playing it off the entire 5-hour thing there, however long it was.
Because that's okay. I get it. I've been guilty of
No, it's 5 hours plus the 2 hours. Oh, you went on for 8 hours last night, it looks like.
misinterpreting people's motives and what they're doing too, and I've been wrong, and I really get upset at myself for not listening to both sides. But I know what you're thinking and where it's coming from. I do. Listen, my whole life, I've never owned a gun in my whole life. Okay. I was going to become a police officer. I was a police dispatcher in my 20s. And I couldn't become a police officer. I was going to go in 3 days to the academy because I had a dream that I couldn't pull the gun. So I never owned a gun in my life because I wouldn't use it. And mace, I would end up macing myself. I know that. I don't know how to use mace. I get nervous. I was brought up with such a violent childhood. I freeze around violence. So what happened is I had a very, very close, long life friend with me, and I had another guy helping me. And I would signal to him when I felt afraid to come over and help me get out of the crowd. That's all I was doing, letting them know or blow a whistle that I'm nervous. Get me out of here. Because
Okay,
I
so
don't have a way to
agree.
defend myself.
So you agree that you were sending some sort of signals,
Yes,
and
I
you're
would wave
saying
my hand up high and let them know they're watching me and they're over there. Finally, they got me a whistle so they knew I was in trouble. But they didn't want to come in the crowd because they don't want to be involved in any fights or anything or talking to them. but we agreed on a signal. What would I do if I felt like I needed help to get out of there? Because there's no way, they don't let you out. You're blocked around with all these cameras. And
Okay, because people are picking up.
Yeah, she could have walked her out of there anytime she wanted to. All she had to do is turn around and say, "Excuse me." Pretty easy to do, and say, "Excuse me, I'm trying to get through." Pretty easy to get out of there, but she wants the attention. It sounds like.
That you're signaling, and your claim is that you're signaling for help because you felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, I did that all the time, but a couple of times they never even saw me signal, and it didn't give me much. I didn't have really any real help. It's not like you're paying these people. They're not
Okay.
real bodyguards. So
All
a
right.
lot of times when the phone got knocked out of my hand, I'm doing that. I'm yelling for help over there. I'm going, come on, and nobody showed up. They said, you disappear so fast, Pam. We don't know where you are at sometime. And that's true.
Okay, because I think that in the past people thought that you were denying that you were giving.
Yeah, exactly, oddball. In fact, I don't know where it is in this clip here, but during the conversation, somebody was saying that most of Pam's views and everything on her Twitter come from us, from the right wing, not from her side so much, but we're giving her too much attention or whatever by looking at her posts or clicking on her posts and reacting to what she's saying, more so than the people on the left out there, because they're usually on blue sky or whatever,
Giving any signals when people
Well, I
clearly saw that you
misunderstood
were
what they mean by
signaling.
signals. Like, do you have a certain sign or some, whatever.
Okay, all right. Let's get to the next person. I think Jen was the next one with their hand up. So let's get to Jen.
Hey guys, so again on the situation where there was, I guess how it was explained is there was hometown beef between Sin and Cam, and I had to make 4 videos because I don't pay for the little blue check or whatever, so I can only do like 2 minutes. Hold on, let me mute this and yell at my dogs. Hold on.
So she's probably used to, block sidewalk and everything, and assumed that the right wingers would block the sidewalk like her people did. Maybe that's what was in her head, to think sidewalks are supposed to be blocked. So of course I wasn't going to get out. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So I broke it down, and my only point was, here's an example. I was really invested in the Idaho 4 case, and I could not do anything else except for live, eat, breathe, everything about it. I ended up breaking like some pretty important information. For example, his termination letter. That's not my point for telling you. The real reason is, like, even if somebody had tried to convince me at every stage of that case that something else was going on other than what I saw, in my perspective, from my proximity, from where I stood looking at the situation, you couldn't have convinced me. I would have thought somebody was trying to dupe me, In the situation with Sin, regardless of what she was mad about, she was recording her. She was saying, Pammy, don't fall. And while some people laugh about that, which I think it's pretty disrespectful, she's not 20, 30, shoot, I'm 49, and I'm all of a sudden like tripping over stuff, and I'm not a very clumsy person. It's weird. So to like laugh at this person, I don't know how old Pam is, but to laugh at her and say like, I hope you don't fall, and then to see these accounts that are using AI and like showing her being thrown into the road. And I mean, gosh, I'm a redhead. I sometimes get emotional. I'm sorry, but if Pam does something and she is caught doing something that she is clearly inciting violence, look, give me a shout. I will be the first person to be very upset about it. Okay. But if what you are using is nothing near that, and it takes weeks and weeks and weeks and people slowing down the video just so that some of these young people who are out there willing to tussle with some of these quote unquote Antifa or counter protesters. If all of that happens and we're just now seeing that that's not what happened, something's wrong. We are turning Pam into a monster because of what we think about what.
I'll let the chat decide what they want to do with this guy here. What do you think on that guy? Should I react to him or just ignore him or time him out? What would be your suggestion there? I could let's see if he just kind of puts something in there and then it goes to the next stream and says something stupid in the next stream, probably. Ignore. Well, that's what I was thinking.
What happened at J6, whether it happened or not, it does not change what happened in this video where Pam clearly did not give somebody a signal for 6-7 minutes. She's being followed, recorded. She tries walking away. She tries getting the guy's attention. She tries moving away, and Sin just goes with her. Doesn't mean I'm saying it's right. Doesn't mean I'm saying it's wrong. I guess it's free speech, but
I won't stop you, Michael.
she's standing in front of the table that contains the items that belong to the protesters. They don't belong to the counter protesters. And because depending on what's going on down in Portland, when there's like, say, a court case coming up, well, they'll tear down all the camps. And then the Patriots will say, oh yeah, we did that. And people like Rain Armature and Tommy and all, they'll pilfer and steal from this stuff, and then they'll call Chandler Antifa safe house when really he just put the shit that the counter protesters keep stealing in his place. You know, breaking into his apartment, it's all recorded. I'm over the BS because today we're
I don't think anyone
arguing.
broke into
Yeah,
Chandler's
none of us did
apartment.
that. None of us
Chandler's
taken anything
door. Chandler's door is always unlocked.
You
I don't-
cannot walk up to somebody's house and open the door with them inside of it and not allow you to do that. That is not legal.
Do you know
And the
who did that?
entire MAGA group did it. My point is that
it's not illegal to pull on someone's doorknob to see it. It's not illegal to do that. No one entered his home, so that's wrong to make that claim.
So it was all recorded and not it's multiple MAGA influencers
Are you
have it
talking about when
recorded.
you marched over there right after we tore down that tent?
I'm just telling you that it did happen. When you put the totality
I mean, you're trying
of
to
it
tell people
together,
that
I figured. Just one of those people is like, oh, this guy's a right winger. I'm going to say something silly. Find another right winger. Say something silly. Next right winger. Say something silly. See if they can get attention or something like that. I don't know.
were there. It happened.
Patrick, I just tried showing you in the comments why it wasn't Pam passing off a weapon. And as a smart aleck, you made a joke about why would she pass off a glove. I did the work.
Okay, so listen.
To break down the video
You weren't here.
for
You
you.
left. You left, and we had Sin come in and help debunk the video.
My point
so listen.
is
hold on.
tell
Hold
the
on.
truth.
Hold on. And we did
Now you can have fun, Michael.
tell the truth. You weren't here for it.
Right.
So when someone says, look at this video, this is what happened. What happened in the video happened so fast that when someone else tells you what happened, which wasn't true, it's easy to create a narrative and to believe in something that didn't happen. It's so dark. It happened so fast. Sin came into the room and told us exactly what happened. I slowed down the video. I saw that Pam did not hand off a weapon or anything to anyone. She put her hand up and it touched the guy's elbow.
I'm not
and it
hearing
all
nothing.
happened.
I'll go down.
What's that?
She said she couldn't hear. She was going to drop.
Check and see how this Clackamas meeting is going over here real quick here, guys. Hold on. See if they're talking about anything ICE related.
Just to kind of follow up on just a comment I have is sometimes, this is what I believe, is sometimes it takes a catalyst of ideas to help bring it forward to involve the public. because I have seen time and time again where the public has come up in so many ways to help support outside of county funding. And so I believe a lot of times it's trying to connect the two. And
Funding or something like that. I'd be talking about ICE by now.
If you'll bring her back up.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and drop off. If you guys just
Well,
want
wait a
to,
minute, wait a minute.
No, it's okay.
I want
I'm
a
going to
chance
drop
to,
off.
wait, Jen, don't go. Wait a minute,
no.
because you mentioned my name. And so I
Who?
think I should get it right. This is
Who?
Sin.
Sin, I
Sin.
talked to you under my other account, the Dadgum Truth, whenever I highlighted you the last time. I think that you are very
Okay, well, you
disrespectful.
mentioned my name, and I should have a
Okay.
right to respond to your claims. First of all, you do not know me. Second of all, you do not know Pam. Third of all, I'm sure Pam did not tell you that I was the one that would provide security to her. I'm sure that Pam did not tell you that I was the one that used to feed her. I was the one that cared for her. So don't come at me saying what a horrible person. You know what? If Pam wasn't talking about me and spreading lies for the past 5 years.
Yeah, you notice on these spaces, at least so far, maybe eventually Sparky or not Sparky, but Spider Michael pop into a right wingers chat or something like that to talk about it. Pretty much Pam and a few of her lady friends or whatever maybe have been out there kind of supporting her, but no guys has kind of stepped into the fray in any of the right wingers chat. But when she had her thing going on the other day, 80% of the people there were right wingers kind of asking her questions. It's interesting where they're chickening out and not able to handle a discussion. The men of the left.
Years, I wouldn't be doing and having no problem with Pam. This has nothing to do with her politics or her obsession of things. And Pam, you can lie all you want and laugh, but at the end of the day, you're a shitty person. I was kind to you for a long time. I did my community service for you. You took advantage of me. And then you spread lies about me because I would not do for you anymore. I would not be your little puppy. Okay, Pam? So sorry you feel like that. And you say people try to
I'm
shut
gonna
you
drop
up.
off of here.
No.
Get some
Well,
therapy,
Jen,
sweetheart.
you
Okay,
don't.
bye
You
bye.
get it. You get it, sweetheart. You get some therapy and shut your mouth.
Maybe crisis actors in the stream here, as far as the ladies here, but yeah. What the heck? He thinks Honey Badger Mom and Katie were crisis actors in the chat. Like, what the heck? They're called journalists. Learn what it is.
Oh my goodness. Well,
I love it.
well,
In the
well.
comments, she tried saying that we were lying about the situation with Pam when we were discussing the allegations and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone was necessarily lying about it. We were in a conversation trying to figure out what was going on. That's not considered a lie. I mean, there were people that had said this or that had happened, and we discussed it. We looked into it, and we, after Sin's input, we came to the realization that there was nothing
No, okay. But so you're the guy, the joke guy today. Okay. Yeah, he's the guy giving jokes out there. Like, I mean, the guy that basically relies on super chats and memberships and engagement for his living and everything, paid by Israel. You funny boys.
ended off, which clears that one up, and that's
By the
and
way,
that's
Patrick, that's a lot more than what Pam would do because Pam won't even provide any type of receipts to any claims that she makes. I've asked her over and over again for videos. People have asked her for videos. She makes posts and
Proof? What's proof, right? That's what he'll say.
she's like, I have it on video. I'm going to post it later. Pam never provides receipts. And it's unfair that people look. I really didn't want to come in here. I'll be quite honest. I am not a liar, but I did not want to come in here and clear up anything for Pam because she's such a shitty ass person and she would never do that for anyone. But you know what? In my conscience, That's not me. I'm not a liar, and I cannot, with good conscience, if somebody asks me something, to lie about it. I just cannot. And I wish Pam had just 1 ounce of integrity, that she could do the same. Just 1 ounce of humanity to do the same. Stop lying. Pam, it's to the point that if you said the sky was blue, I have to go outside and check that the sky is blue because you lie about the dumbest things, the absolute dumbest, the thing that you don't even need to lie about, you lie about. And so that's all I'm saying is we need to be honest on all ends. I came in here, Pam, to clear your name. You did not hand off a weapon. I am the one that made the recording. And instead, you lie and say that it was an AI video. It was not an AI video. You were being a shitty person. Could I have been a shitty person? Possibly.
At least he hasn't said free Palestine 1,000 times.
But I kind of feel like you deserve it.
I think that maybe Pam didn't actually look into the video, and she was just being defensive and saying if a video was out there of her handing off a weapon,
Patrick, she saw
that
it.
it was. But what I'm saying is, if she didn't, she could have got to the point where she just said, if someone has a video of me handing off a weapon, it has to be AI because I didn't hand off a weapon. So in her defense, that's a very good possibility that that was her reaction. You know, whether or not she saw that video or not. I mean, I believe that's possible and probably the situation. I don't know. I'm not Pam. I mean, for all I know, she could be being dishonest, but I think personally that's a reasonable conclusion. But I don't know. I have never talked to Pam about it. I've only heard what's being said in these spaces about it. So, and I heard her say in her space when she was confronted about it that it must, if someone had a video of her handing off a weapon, it was AI. So that's that. I guess maybe we could get to a I don't know, Moni. I think maybe you should go up next.
Thank you. I have 2 points. One is a little bit longer than the second one. Jen is still in here, and I wanted to address a couple of things that she said. She said she doesn't take any sides, and she's not this or that. But if you look at her profile, she's labeling everybody Patriot nuts. And the second thing I wanted to talk about was the incident at Chandler's place. Now, I watched the videos too. I wasn't there. Many people here were, but there was a police officer there, and he was asked about opening the door, and they said opening the door wasn't illegal. And if you watch the video, you see that that looks like a commercial building. When they opened the door, people thought it was going to be a foyer. So they were kind of shocked. You could, if you watched the video, you saw the shock that it was right into the living room.
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. That night, that happened where we all marched over to Chandler's. I'm actually the one who opened the door. But I wasn't opening the door to open the door and go inside. I pulled on the door to see if it was unlocked, which I kind of already knew because he always leaves the door unlocked. I just pulled on the door. It opened up, and I guess he calls himself Seth, the little chubby Seth, not the short black guy, but the other chubby one who was in the frog suit. He came running over and grabbed the door out of my hand and opened it up to try to get inside and pull it closed. And that's when other people prevented him from closing it all the way.
Well, the incident wasn't.
Yeah, let me know if you guys are done engaging with Mr. Biker person there. Keep saying silly stuff or things like that, but it helps the algorithm. Helps this little meeting here called the stream. To get more people watching and things like that. So feel free to keep engaging with him if you want to. Otherwise, you can go take a rest somewhere else.
Wasn't like you were just coming to pile in. Nobody breached the.
Yeah, no one went into the house.
And in
right.
the live stream, somebody actually asked an officer that showed up there if it was illegal, and they said it wasn't. So to say opening the door was illegal, the police there said it wasn't. So that's the 2 things I wanted to clear up with Jen. And then the other point that I had to make is with Pam, she said that she liked to let people hear both sides of the story and let folks decide. But I, just out of curiosity, I wonder how many people on this stage up here are blocked by her.
Me.
Me?
Me.
She actually, Patrick was nice enough and asked her the other day to ask Pam to unblock me. She had blocked me also, but she was nice enough to unblock me. She spent like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to unblock it or whatever. It was kind of nice.
Not me. I'm good.
Are
Yeah,
you though?
Costin, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, well, is this discussion like on Pam? Like I need
No.
to give.
Answer the question. Biker, answer the question. Your next answer, hey, Genealogy Girl, how you doing? Nice to see you. You were in on this conversation there we're listening to, weren't you? At least you're the person who has some information on that stuff there too. I just got to deal with a little troublemaker in the chat there. Answer that question, Biker. I'm just giving him one more chance. Answer the question. It's on the screen. Sometimes I'm kind of behind when I'm looking at it through here, so maybe a little behind if he's already posted it, but give you one more chance. Oh, it was you in there on that one there? You have a different name on this one here. We'll get back into it here in a second here. Thank you for heads up there. Just got to deal with a little troublemaker here. I'll give him 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You had your chance. Yeah, make me do work here. I don't want to do work. There we go. Click on my own live. Click over here. Actually, can I do it from this thing? Maybe I can do it from this thing here. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. PU's in timeout. There we go. Not sure how long it puts them in timeout when I do it through that way, but maybe long enough. No, not talking to you, Genealogy. Go back to here.
Filled in, or is it just like
No,
anything on general?
it's like a general discussion. We were just talking about
Which one were you on here, Genealogy Girl? I know you're not a Pam fan, but you don't have to say who you were on there. But what are you, Jan by chance, or were you trying to see the other speakers that were on there, JoJo or somebody like that? Anyway, let's keep going with this.
a multitude of different topics, and Pam came.
One of them.
Pam came into the space, so we invited her up to make some clarifications, because before Pam had come, there was a pretty long debate on whether or not she had handed off a weapon, which we went through the video evidence and eventually, with the help of Sin, debunked the fact that she did not hand off a weapon to anyone, which was the speculation.
You weren't, I mean, okay, gotcha. Is your name was brought up and things like that about somebody who had a lot of information or video about it. I still haven't seen the video there, but it was in that purple pill area there, so I'll probably go back and look at it. Or if you want to, you can put it on my Twitter, Mr. Bill for Freedom on Twitter, and send it to me there if you want to, so I can see it. But either way, I'll check it out there. I'm not too much into the drama stuff. You know, I'm more into the comedy stuff than I am the drama stuff. Oh, you're on the phone with Sin. Okay, Phil will have her pop in. One of these days I want to do like more interviews, things like that. So I'll have you guys pop in on StreamYard or whatever and have conversations about different topics like this, for instance. You know, it'd be kind of cool.
For about a month now, that there was possibly a weapon being handed off, but Pam confirmed that she was giving signals. She claims that the signals she was
FYI, I'm also on Twitter. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, it's on Twitter also, and I can see your chats on Twitter as well as YouTube.
giving to people were for help, when other people had speculation that the signals that she was giving off was giving orders to people, or some sort of signals to for some sort of action or something to happen.
On X, I saw something while I was scrolling. Watch out.
Like I never accused anyone of having a weapon, but I definitely thought it.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I got accused of attacking some lady just like 2 days ago, but
This is caution.
she walked right past me in the video. You can clearly see she just walked by me, and I didn't even say a word to her, and she got upset that I was recording her. She called the cops saying I hit her with my tripod and made her jump a wall
Oh yeah,
to
I
escape.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Definitely, like that black bloc. He's been around a couple more times, and he tried talking to me a couple times, trying to quote unquote clear up the situation, but then kept talking about like bullshit, kept lying.
Yeah. Well, hope you guys have a good rest of your night. All right.
Alrighty, have a good one.
Watch out for those spiders, Charles.
Absolutely.
100%.
Let's get to Baba
Carson.
Booey. Or let's
Carson,
get,
sorry to interrupt. Carson, you're still invited to do that dance thing. And Patrick and Pam, I just made a suggestion for you guys to dance together in the dance off. Okay.
okay.
That was me. I just made a post on Twitter that you'll see in the chat there about the dance off.
Let's get to Baba Booey.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm a little tired.
Lauren, how you doing? Nice to see you. What are your political leanings here? I know you're following TOS and things like that, but my guess is center right, just not. You didn't vote for Trump or something like that. Just if you don't mind us saying what your political leanings are, you don't have to. I'm just curious.
Ready to go to bed, but did Pam leave or is she still in?
No, she's still here.
Oh, does she have a mic right now?
Yes, she has a mic.
So I was just wanting to ask. Last night I was kind of listening in to the live and stuff. I heard a lot of AA type lingo and talk from Pam. It almost sounded like she was hosting a meeting. But I was just curious. I know a few nights ago she had spoke about, you know, her being a drug and alcohol counselor and whatnot. And I was just wondering, like, if she'd mind helping fill me in a little bit about that, like where'd she go to school, what kind of degrees she get, just a little bit of that, if you could, Pam.
Sure.
This part was kind of boring, so I'm going to try to skip ahead here. I was listening to this part for a while there, but she just talked about her past or something about her. She got a master's, but it wasn't really a master's or something like that. But it seemed boring to me. So
And I think you have to have a none. What answers? But I loved it because there's a.
Would you endanger the vulnerable clients and stuff that you worked with?
And substance abuse, like nurses and doctors and police officers in your case. No, but they
is
checked
that like
and then they twisted it.
Or not?
Everybody allowing 37 what is on the other side.
No, I'm talking about just a video, you know, person that stormed 2 capitals.
I didn't
state
storm
and the US
Boise,
Capitol.
Idaho. I just explained that one.
Are you a serial Capitol stormer?
Are you listening?
I'm trying.
What did I say? I was one of them that was allowed to go inside the chamber. They are only allowing 27, 37. Don't quote me on the amount. I can't remember how many were allowed legally to come in. But I
So
was
how
one
many
of them.
times do they allow you to go into the U.S. Capitol on
You're not
January
listening.
6th?
I'm sitting here explaining and you're talking over me.
I'm trying. I hear you talk a lot, and I'm trying to get to the.
No, you're
I'm
not.
trying to get to,
No, you're
to the
not.
point
So I'm not
that
going to answer
will
your
like
question.
connect this in my
Somebody
brain.
else that wants to listen, I'll talk to him.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to bed, Pam. I appreciate you talking.
And it's not easy to go into a space where you know the majority of the people probably don't like you. So I appreciate you coming and talking with us. Now, my question is, I know that when I was in your space, you mentioned many times that people accused you of being an undercover agent, things of that nature. Now, you mentioned something when you came in here. Now, I am not someone who goes to protests. I'm someone who I sit at home and I observe what's happening in the world. Now, when you said when you came in, my agent assigned me a police officer.
Let's go back to this Portland City Council meeting here for a second here, guys, to see if it's doing anything silly again.
Of guerrilla action to bring that to their attention. Like what suddenly came to my mind is, what if a bunch of local government officials filed a ballot initiative, the state local revenue equality initiative, that said, among other things, that the taxable income of any individual human being cannot increase by more than 3% a year, no matter how much their actual income increases, which would equalize the income tax system and the property tax system, and which would prohibit the state legislature from passing any of the taxes that we're prohibited from taxing, like taxes on alcohol and
I hear the word tax one more time.
For someone like me, I don't know how these things work. But for someone like me, I'm like, who is this agent? Who do these agents work for? Why is this agent assigning her a police officer? So, I mean, I can see 100% why people would accuse you of such a thing. And when you were asked about it, Sin pretty much brought it up immediately. Like, who's this agent? Who do they work for? And then you kind of shut down, and you're right. You don't owe anyone any explanation. But if you want to be taken seriously, at least the way I see it, if you want to be taken seriously and not be accused of being a liar, and you don't want to harbor suspicion upon yourself, which would absolutely help, you get your messages across. If you can get people to not be suspicious of you, they're more open to listening. So you immediately were like, well, I can't tell you that. And I get that, but you could.
Hey, Genealogy Girl, if you're still in the chat, thank you for the follow on Twitter. Anybody else follow recently on Twitter? Tommy Boy did the other day. Thank you, Tommy Boy. Purple Frog Gal followed me last night. I was like, are you really a Trump supporter? Or are you like one of these frogs that were in an ice building or something? You guys followed me while I was talking to Pam, so it was weird.
Explain it so that it's not completely shut down, because the way that you said it makes me very suspicious. And I've talked to you a lot, and the reason I'm asking this question is I'm hoping you can do your best to explain that, so that one, I'm no longer suspicious and other people aren't suspicious. Because I mean, if you do have something to say and you have a message that you want to get across, I think if you remove.
Okay, guys, brief time out. Sorry to bug you. I see there's quite a few people in the chat right now. If you guys don't mind, if you're not already following me on Twitter, if you can click that link in the chat right there, I would appreciate it there, because I'm getting close to getting to 1,700 people on Twitter. So right now I'm at 1,691. So if there's by chance 9 people or so that have not followed me on X or whatever, just click that link and do a quick follow over there. I'd appreciate it so much. It'd be so nice of you. If you don't have to, if you don't want to, we're just chilling out here, but it'd be cool to get to it like a solid number like that. Anyway, thank you guys.
Moved that suspicion that you're doing to yourself, whether you believe that's happening or not, I think that would be helpful. And I think it would be important to I think it'd be important to your cause as well. If you could eliminate that. So do you care to explain in the best way that you can, without giving names, because you said I can't give names, but could you give us a roundabout idea who these agents are that are assigning you police officers and bodyguards and things of that nature? Because the way it's coming across, it sounds very suspicious, and I can see why you're being accused of that.
Okay, sure. First, get a little empathy, try to get in my shoes and understand something. I have been doing this and explaining this for 3 years. I've done videos. I've showed you what they've said about me, and then I explained my side of the story. For 3 years, I'm burned out. They don't believe me anyway. They lie about me anyway. I show receipts at times. I disagree with Sin. If you need a video, DM me. Let me find it. I'm tired.
Not making an excuse for what they did there, but Lauren, if you were sent to prison and everything, and didn't you have a fair due process and things like that, as you were getting sentenced and put in solitary confinement quite a while, and went to jail unnecessarily, and you were let out, and your life was kind of ruined because you were sent to jail and you didn't have a whole lot, your family left you and things like this. Again, not making an excuse for anybody doing those kind of crimes whatsoever, but you'd kind of feel kind of downtrodden at that point there. Also, what you or whatever. Yes, they should have got most of the people got their lives back together and everything, found some kind of purpose, things like that. Some of them did not find a purpose and decided to commit crimes instead. Yes, but if here's what they wouldn't have happened, and they likely would not have done these crimes if they had not been charged and put into jail for that long a time unnecessarily. Trespassing charges what are they, maybe a month in jail or something like that at most these days, versus 2 or 3 years in jail, right, for trespassing on government property. So yeah, a month in jail versus 2 years or so in jail, and different kind of jail, county jail versus a federal jail for trespassing type stuff. Just FYI, it's going to be a little bit different if you were treated correctly by the government at that time. Thank you. GJT would say, thank you for your attention to this matter.
Tired of it though. I'm burned out. Trying to prove that I'm not a liar. Trying to help people understand what was going on January 6th. And that how it just because I'm debunking. See, I found out they're saying that the J6ers didn't receive due process. And that's not right, right? You would agree on that. Everybody has to have due process. So I started off.
Every citizen should have full due process rights of a lawyer and a judge in front of you. Yes. Non-citizens who come here illegally, not necessarily, no.
A lot of this was researching to debunk that they're saying that they did get due process. I was on their side. You can understand that. I was trying to help the Proud Boys. And then I found out the facts, not even thinking, that they did get due process. They did. I've got the court recordings. They record everything that's happened in court. The next day, the date of the next court, what the disposition was. You could go research it yourself and find them. They're real easy. Put in Jake Lane. You'll get his court records. He received due process. They all did. They were using that because Trump said the DOJ was weaponized against them. And I wanted to prove that they were. But as I went along, I kept coming across these lies. It's not true. You got due process. Does that make sense? So if
I absolutely saying about
now it wasn't an agent, it was the Boise Police Department.
Like that was aside from the, I get that. I understand that. I understand you. Right. And you're saying you're not an agent.
No, you said what agent was this that it was assigned? There's no agent.
Yeah. You said earlier in the conversation as you came in, you and Sin were speaking and you said, well, you weren't assigned a police officer by your agent because my agent assigned me a police officer. And I know that in your spaces.
Agent? Okay.
Yes, you did.
All right.
Agent. And maybe your terminology got mixed up, but
yeah, that's all.
She just can't remember.
Oh, come on, stop it.
Okay, so we can confirm that you were given a police officer?
Yes, and first I was asked as a volunteer. It's not like I had to. But she spoke to me and said that she mentioned Sin. They held Sin in high regard. They hired this other lady. I'm sorry, I just can't remember her name right now. But I have a name disorder. But all
Is that an official thing there? If TDS is not an official thing, I don't think a name disorder should be an official thing.
three of us were supposed to be assigned to be people that were there to keep the peace, not to be an informant and turn around and lie or say something somebody's doing, you know. Or they trusted us.
That who is they though? That's
The
what I'm.
Boise Police Department
So the police department
assigned.
asked you.
Yes.
The police, so someone in that police department. So that would be the DC Police Department?
No, in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, in Boise, Idaho.
This is back before January 6th, when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on in Boise.
Okay, so Boise, how did that go about? So some, like the chief of police contacted you because they knew you would be there, or they approached you when you were there?
No, I got a phone call.
Said, oh, you got a phone call ahead of time. Okay, that's great. So who called you ahead of time?
I can't remember the name.
Were they a
Yeah, she was in one the other day or whatever that Patrick was in, talking about different things like that. She was willing to listen and have different discussions, although she was similar in Pam and start denying that the left does bad things, but that's what they all do.
with the Boise Police Department?
They were the Boise Police Department. They also knew me because I interviewed officers within their agency. I had my own TV show, and I was starting a campaign to get Narcan for heroin addicts that were overdosing. So I had them on my show. People knew me already in the community. I was already well known.
In other words, she wanted to kind of allow people to continue to use heroin and everything and just give them a way to save their lives in case they decided to do that, rather than get people off the streets and everything and say, stop using heroin, get into a treatment center. But, here, we'll give you, in case you're about to die or whatever, you'll have the stuff to save you. Almost industrial complex.
As you said agent, but what you meant was someone in the Boise Police Department contacted you ahead of this.
Yes, saying that they're contacting all three of us. Sin, and I can't remember her name. I'm sorry.
I don't believe. I think Sin denied that. She.
No, I'm just telling
me either. I remember faces better than I remember names.
You what they told me. I'm not saying what Sin said.
That Sin would be assigned a special police officer.
Yeah, and I remember calling the other lady that did the mega group and asking her.
MAGA, not mega.
She got contacted, and what did you think about it? What do you think? Because it's a volunteer. It's not like we were required or anything. It was a volunteer because they respected us.
Clarifying
they
that.
respected Sin and me and the girl that was doing the mega group.
I appreciate you clarifying that because now people have something that they can look into and then they can say, okay, well, I know she said agent this and that, but I'm sure that there would be some way that this could be confirmed.
Maybe they could have been called a special agent. I don't know what they call them at Boise. Maybe that's where I'm getting. I don't know, but I wouldn't get caught up in agent.
A call from
I'm telling you, they worked for Boise Police. Call them, talk about it, ask them questions.
And I'm not trying to trip you up. These are legitimate
I'm just
questions.
tired of this,
I get it. I appreciate you being here.
Not 2 months of this. This is 3 years, maybe 4 years of explaining and telling and over and over and over. And then I trip on one word or say something just a little different. Oh, see, she's lying. So it's like word salad. It's kind of like You're
I'm lying.
damned if you do and damned if you don't.
I do not know
But
if you're
you
lying.
said this, Pam, or I got you. You know, it's not like they're really listening and paying attention. They're trying to find something to trip me up and say, "See, she's a liar." That's all. That's all it is.
That's the going theory anyway, Ellen. That's the going theory, I think.
Something to either.
And you don't know my whole story. I don't think you've ever watched any of my interviews, have you?
I'm just learning about you, and I'm only going off of.
Did you read my letter from Vice President Pence?
No, I like I said, I'm just learning about you. I honestly had no idea who you were until 2 days ago. And I don't mean that as an insult. That's just the truth. But
Well,
I just
research me, but not from my haters, because they're not going to tell you the facts. It's going to tell you smear.
Judas Pence.
I'll tell you what, it got so bad, this smear was so bad, that I could hold over 1,000 people in a space. And they started coming after them and doxing them. They came to me and said, "Pam, we really want to be in your space and support you, but I'm getting attacked. I can't even be." They have called journalists. They have called the Germany government. They have called everybody that supports me. They get me unplatformed. They have done everything they can to shut me up. I'm still here 4 years later. It's nothing's going to shut me up. Tell everybody I'm a pedo. Tell them I'm an informant. I don't give a shit. I'm going to still share my story about January 6th and how I believe that Trump is a dangerous narcissist.
All right, guys. That was 6 hours and 30 minutes on that video. If you want to see the rest of it, feel free. I'm going to copy the link here. If you want to see the rest of that link, I stopped it right there at 6 hours and 30 minutes on the Twitter feed. Make sure you follow Patrick also. Put that space together there so you can click on that there. And if you haven't done it already, I saw somebody went to Twitter and clicked on that link there to follow me over there. So I'll give you that link one more time to my Twitter page. Links, you know. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. You guys want me to raid you to a debate kind of guy or a news kind of thing or something like that? Right now, there's not a whole lot of live streamers out there right now that I can see. If somebody wants to answer whatever Lauren's putting in the chat there, feel free there while we do this. But there's my link to my Twitter there. If you guys want to get me to 1,695, I'm 3 away from that. And also, when you're over there, check out my Common Sense for Patriotism community there, trying to build that up here so I can do my own sort of things out there also. Hey, Tara, thanks for stopping by. Again, the grandma talk, I'll assume you're correct about that, okay? I'm joking. What else was I going to do? Pretty much that stuff there. If you guys want my Facebook link, you don't have to, but I'm just assuming there's 1 or 2 people in here that use Facebook and might want an option to follow me over there if you wanted to. Because right now I can't go live from over there, but it just gives you an option there. There's your link over there. Ouch. On Facebook, you can follow that page over there. That is up to 73 followers. That one needs to get to 100 followers too, so I can live stream from Facebook. And looking at the weather outside, it looks yucky. It's cold. I doubt there's a whole lot of stuff going on at ice building right now. I was thinking about going there today, but it's a little ways to go, and I probably won't go today. But make sure you have your live notifications on YouTube, which should be down below here somewhere. That live notifications, that way, I guess I do go live from ICE or somewhere else. You can check that out there. And let's check and see if there's anything. Excuse me. To raid people out there to support the community. But right now, there's not a whole lot of. Everybody kind of goes on at night with all the live streams and restreams and drama content and things like that. So let me check and see. Oh, thank you for the recent subscribers. Also, so I got 2 or 3 new subscribers on YouTube. Also, thank you guys for clicking that subscribe button out there. If you hit the like button too, that would be appreciated. I'll see what other buttons I can press here to help you guys more entertainment today. If you're still just chilling out watching YouTube videos, Do you guys watch it on your TV or on your computer or on your phone or tablet? Everybody kind of has a different way that they watch TV, but it seems like more and more people these days watch it on their television. Seems like, is that true? I got a guy out there that kind of does debate stuff out there. Another guy that talks to Discord and things like that. It's the main ones I see out there right now that are live. I can send you to, or Made with a Jib Bob. He talks about different things. Oh, he's talking about Candace and Fuentes, and he's a good guy here. I'm going to send you over here. I'll send you to a smaller channel here. He's a good guy. He's Grid Motorsports. If you ever heard of Grid Motorsports, that's the guy here, conservative guy that does different stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to end the stream yet, but I got that saved. I appreciate, again, 6 hours and 30 minutes. If you did want to watch the rest of that Pam information, there's another 2 hours after that. I'm not sure how long she stayed after, or that one ended there. I appreciate you guys hanging out there, following. The 20 people that are still on YouTube are going to be heading over on the phone mostly for you. Some people do the TV things, different ways to do it. Touchdowns, pretty much. Interesting. Anyway, let's go. I haven't played a song for you. Usually I play a song for you guys. I apologize here. We find a one of these 1 minute songs here. Just ended up here. 1 minute song. The Proud to Be a Boomer the other day. Here's another version of the Proud to Be a Boomer song here that you might not have heard yet.
I wake up with the sunrise, the coffee's on the stove, the papers pile beside me, but I've still got my grove. I remember when the jukebox played a dime for every tune. Now I hum along the silence underneath the fading moon. I'm proud to be a boomer, where at least I know I'm sane. I've seen the world keep turning through the joy and through the pain, and I'm glad.
There we go. I almost want to upgrade because they always make better songs with those 1 minute things than that. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys all later, Gators. Watch on the TV. Interesting. All right, guys, go check out my buddy over there. Give you 30 seconds to get over there. Tell him how, if you want to say something, ask him how he's doing and if he's older than me or younger than me. Okay, ask him if he thinks he's older than me or younger than me. I might send you over there. Okay, 30 seconds.